Remnant777, you sly dog, what have you been up to, sir? The psychology of women with septum nose rings. Let's take a look at what I'm sure is an AI-generated thumbnail, shall we? Sure enough, that's gotta be AI-generated. 1000%. 1000%, no shot. Maybe it's not, maybe I'm wrong. But, you know, Remnant doesn't seem to, like, take any issue with being accused of that. Like, he does it pretty openly, so I don't think he'd deny it. I will say, listen, I've been on DMs with Remnant777. I do not think Remnant is a Nazi, okay? I don't. I think that he shares some ideas with the Nazis, but, like, that's not, like, that's just a result of being a conservative, in my opinion. I don't think he's a bad guy, deep down. I really don't. The thing is, I think that he's kind of stuck, and I want to help him. So, Remnant, if you're watching this, understand that I do this with love, my friend. Out of love for you. Without further ado, this is the okay, so for everybody who got pissy, okay? Everybody who got pissy at the last video that I did with Remnant, okay? This is called tough love, okay? We're gonna show Remnant a little bit of tough love today, all right? This fucking empathy is not about being nice. It's not about bending over backwards, all right? It's about understanding the other person and where they're coming from. Maybe this isn't AI generated. Okay, we're gonna start by saying this is not AI generated. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. This is like a Strangers reference. What is it? Strangers, the game?
What is the septum nose ring theory? Well, according to the experts at knowyourmeme.com, it is a way of allegedly spotting feminists, man-haters, and
Oh.
I've watched your channel for a while. Love the content, brother.
Thank
Cheers.
you, thank you. Very nice.
perpetual victims.
Thank you.
With the whole thing orbiting around
I'm not human.
septum
There it
piercings or nose rings.
I was thinking of like not your neighbor or something, whatever it's called. The neighbor game where you like let people back into the apartment complex. I forget.
Or nose rings.
Or
now you
imposter,
know me,
something like
I'd
that.
never generalize against people as a whole or say that women with nose rings behave in a particular way. That's not me. However, as we all know,
I will say production quality's improved quite a bit. This is pretty good.
only making up 19% of women with piercings, they are responsible for over 75% of TikTok crash outs. Meaning, we tapped into something here. Which this whole topic, it's perfect.
I'll be real, he may be onto something here. Like, there is something about septum piercings that, like, I think it's a correlation versus causation deal, because it's like, it just so happens that people who are more likely to get septum piercings also happen to be progressive, because septum piercings are seen as like an alt thing to do. You know what I mean? Are they looking for attention? Yeah, probably. I mean, they are influencers or wannabe influencers, right? So like the septum piercing is drawing the eye, and you can't really get around that. I look for attention too when I go out in public. I want to look good, you know? Yeah, I mean, there is something to be said for it, I guess.
Perfect for me to cover.
I just don't know why you
I'm
care.
neutral on this subject matter. Because truth be told,
a centrist.
I find
A
women
septum piercing centrist.
with dyed hair and piercings to be hot. I mean, why do you think
Good,
of my
good for
woman's
you, man. Hey,
fearlessness?
same here. Listen, man's got taste.
I put emos and goth girls in
But you know what? I'm sorry. This is very transcoded. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. Just letting you know, man. This is very transcoded.
A tier. But even though I have an affinity for
Not
them,
as-
I'm blessed with
Not
the
as in like you're trans, as in like these girls are transcoded.
I'm blessed with the wisdom of Solomon to know that.
I hate
I will
you
even
too.
tell you how to get yourself your very own goth and emo girl that is
See, like they're very transcoded in my opinion.
not insane. I know, it sounds too good to be true, but I will deliver, so watch to the end of the video. But as for why they're crazy, I have a hypothesis, specifically about the septum nose ring. Because hot take, I don't
You can see his eyes through the helmet. Nuh-uh. You can! No! Oh no! Oh no, bro. Oh man, that's funny.
at the septum nose ring. Because hot take, I don't think that all nose rings are indicative of a crazy woman. Because I've met quite a few women who have nose rings, and I
Oh my
don't think
God.
that they're
Yeah, if you just get it in the side, it's not a septum piercing, right? Just not the septum piercing. As long as it's in the side, that's not a red flag.
insane. Maybe they get it on one side, or they just have one, like you can see on here. I don't think we can generalize all nose ring types like that. But the septum nose ring, that takes a very special kind
I
of
knew
person
it.
to get it. The type of person that says, I don't give a how other people see me. I want it, so I'm gonna get it. That is their entire mentality.
I'm
In
sorry.
fact,
I'm sorry. This goes so fucking hard. Like, I don't understand your point, man. These women are very attractive, I must say. I must say. Like, I guess the septum piercing would get in the way of kissing, maybe. Like, if you're talking about dating, of course, which, you know, we have no idea if, like, I'm treating them like a piece of meat right now, but that's what he's doing, so I'm just coming down to his level. You know, like, just let people look how they want. Like, this looks sick. Oh! Speaking of, do you guys want to know a funny story? So my mom tells this story to me about why she did not get a tattoo, right? And the story goes that she was in a diner and she was thinking about getting a tattoo. And it just so happens that as soon as she thought that, somebody walks in. She says it's this old lady who is covered head to toe, face to feet in tattoos. She said it looked terrible. She said that it was her sign that she should not get a tattoo, right? Cut to yesterday. I was in the kitchen and I was talking to Katie. This was during, like, while I was doing a bunch of work. And I was talking to Katie because she had just come down from upstairs. And I said, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo, Katie. I don't know what I want yet, but I'm thinking about getting one. Walked to the gas station later that night. I'm looking around, you know, grabbing some stuff. What should walk in but this fucking beefcake of a man? Like, just this jacked ass motherfucker with some of the best hair and mustache that I've ever seen, covered head to toe in the sickest tattoos known to man, okay? Like, he looked fucking badass. And so that was the moment that I decided, I'm getting that fucking tattoo, baby. Tell you what, that was my sign. That was my sign.
The more pushback that they get, the more that they want to do it. And there are a couple of traits that become immediately apparent. One, the lack of impulse control. They act on their emotions much more without self-restraint. And they also don't care how other people view them. Their whole mentality is, I want it, and I don't care how you view me about it. In fact, if you view me poorly because of this superficial thing, that's good. I don't want you in my life. I repelled you off. I'm repelling off the bad people with this nose ring. I'm ridding myself of the superficial people in my life. That's how they view themselves. And from all of this, you get a strong whiff of rebellion. A rebellion against the people in their lives that try to force them to conform.
I can't stop looking at your eyes, man. Oh no. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be mean. It's just like, it's very unsettling now that I see it. I can't unsee it now.
And they're also rebellious against the more dominant culture, which is one of the reasons why
dominant culture.
Because for a lot of these people, they haven't come to their beliefs because they've deeply thought about it. But rather, a lot of their beliefs.
Yeah, I guess technically it is I don't know if dominant's the right word, but I know what he's getting at.
Simply a negative reaction to the dominant culture. They are products of their environment, and you have two choices as a product of your environment.
Wait, is this Marie Joie? It is. That's Marie Joie, isn't it? Oh no, it's a church. Marie Joie is just designed after like a church like this.
Two choices as a product of your environment: conform to the culture or rebel against it. Both.
That's Vi. Vi is so fucking hot.
Reactions to your environment.
Katie is looking more and more like Vi every day. It's great.
I mean, why do you think so many of these people that look like this have daddy issues? They're rebelling against their right-wing Christian parents. I mean...
Yeah, why are they doing that, man? Why do you think they would do such a thing?
Do you think it's a coincidence? No, it's because they wanted to oppose their parents.
You very rarely see it happen the other way around. Like, sometimes young men do it, but it's usually just a phase for them. You know what I mean? Like, once you break away from a conservative family, I've seen very few people actually go back, you know?
As an expression, a statement to the world that they have free will and they have autonomy over their own lives. This shows that they're not simply a
He's not wrong. Like, there is something to be said for the fact that women who do this typically feel as though they've had either a lack of control or a lack of positive attention in their lives. You know, that's why a lot of people dress up as flashy as they do. It's a very psychological thing that happens, and there's nothing wrong with it. You know, you can want or not want as much or as little attention as you want, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there is something to be said for, yes, if you get a septum piercing like that, part of it is probably that you want people to look at you. And that's, again, nothing wrong with that. Like, I want people to look at me too. That's why I want to go back to the gym and get jacked as fuck, you know? I want people to fucking swivel their heads and look at me. I'm an attention whore. Nothing wrong with that. But, I do think that he's got a point.
Product of their own environment. Yet, ironically, the very rebellion itself is a product of their environment. They're blindly reacting to things outside of their own control. And because of...
I wouldn't say blindly. I mean, a lot of the time, there was legitimate abuse, you know? Like, religious cults and, like, small outcrops of Christian, like, extremism, they exist. And in those households, a lot of bad things happen. You know, there's really no getting around that. So a lot of the time, you know, it's not blindly lashing out. It's very clearly and purposefully lashing out because their home environment is so shit.
This, they tend to be less self-aware than most people
AI,
around
AI.
them.
Oh no, she's missing a pinky. She's missing a
One
pinky.
of my friend's exes went from being a liberal borderline hippie to ultra-orthodox Jewish woman with a name change and 4 kids in 4 years post-breakup.
Wow. That's interesting. Okay, having experienced something akin to spiritual myself recently, I do feel like I've had a spiritual awakening of sorts. I don't know if you guys knew that. I don't think I've said it on stream yet, but I do consider myself not an atheist anymore. I consider myself an agnostic humanist. So I believe in a higher power, quote unquote, as it pertains to like the overall spiritual power of the human race as a species. I think that this species is the next step of evolution. We as a species need to come together as like a single quote unquote organism and ascend to a higher power so that we can explore the universe together. That's what I feel. I also feel that the spiritual elements of your soul, quote unquote, your soul, get kind of broken down and dispersed throughout the universe, and some of it gets like rebuilt into other conscious matter. You know, there's a bunch of elements to it. But bottom line is, you know, I understand spiritual awakenings. I get why people go religious again, because I think that some element of spirituality for your life is good. It gives you some structure. It gives you some purpose to, you know, to keep your life together. Because while I was an atheist, while I was like, before this is the point, I didn't have very much control over my life. You know, I did a lot of shit that I shouldn't have been doing. I jerked off a lot, a lot. I've limited myself to once or twice a day now. I held off work. You know, I held off a bunch of work. Now I'm getting all of my chores done. I'm finally catching up on some of the shit that has been building up over years. You know, having some structure is good. Believing in something bigger than yourself gives you that structure. It gives you a reason to keep moving forward.
The more that they view themselves as
it.
agents of free will,
No, the eyes!
less self-aware they generally are. But going back to the septum nose ring, the reason why there's this stereotype of these unstable feminists with nose rings,
Vi is very
they're
hot.
crashing out online, it's because there's a combination of traits we're seeing. They're more likely to be impulsive, they don't care how other people view them, and they rebel against the people around them in society at large. Meaning, when they're unhappy...
I'm more of the materialist spiritual person, but I'm still an agnostic atheist in the sense that I don't believe in a higher power in that sense. Nor do I believe in any gods. I believe in karma. I believe in like some kind of guiding power of the universe, some sort of fate. I'm starting to believe in soulmates a little bit because I feel like me and Katie are soulmates. The same but opposite, if that makes sense. I could talk about all of that. Like, there's just so much in my life that makes sense when I think of it this way. And it's fine if you don't believe me. It's fine if you don't think the same thing. I don't care. It just, like, that's how it makes sense to me in my head. And that's all that matters.
Happy, they're angry about something. They don't care to hide it. They're much more likely to show it. They're more likely to have a public outburst. If they feel like screaming or doing whatever they want,
so awful.
They will, because they don't care about you or the people around them. If they have a public freakout, it's only bad if you care about how other people view you.
Usually I see public freakouts from like conservative Karens, like white suburban Karens, or black suburban Karens, you know, they're not innocent either. Any color suburban Karen, basically. Suburban Karen, regardless of color. We're doing DEI for suburban Karens.
Especially if you post it online. They'll scream and lose their minds if they believe it gets them what they want. And that's my thoughts on the septum nose ring theory. Is it valid? I think there's a lot of truth to it, and I think this is why they act in this way.
And men can be Karens too. I don't just mean women.
That's it. Also, I have not forgotten. I'm a man of my word, and here's the secret to getting your very own goth and emo girl that is mentally stable. There are a couple of steps you have to follow.
Okay.
1, find a normal, stable girl that is generic.
Stop. No, he's gonna say break her. Stop.
Step 2, get her as your girlfriend. Step 3, take her clothes shopping to get her dressed up how you want, whether that be emo or goth. And step 4, get her to put on the makeup, dye her hair, put on the piercings or whatever you want.
Get her to? You have to be more specific, my man. No, listen. You meet somebody that you like, okay? And as you grow together, you just start to do things that the other person likes, you know? Like, that's just how relationships work. So, like, Katie, she knows that I like short hair. She doesn't just cut her hair because I like it. She likes it too. I met her when she had short hair. But she grew it out for our wedding, and she knew that I was not like a huge fan of it. I love her short hair. I'm a big sucker for short hair. But she personally wanted long hair for the wedding, so I said that's fine. You know, it's not up to me. But she cut it off after that. 1, because long hair is annoying, and 2, because I like short hair. Her current haircut is like my thing. I love her current haircut. But so my point is, she'll do it for you if you just ask. Like if you just get to know her and like her and whatever, and you guys are a good match, and you tell her, you know, I think you'd look really good with like dark hair and goth makeup and whatever. I think you'd look really good like that. Do you want to try it someday? I think that, you know, I personally like that kind of thing. So I just wondered if you want to try it. Like, just be honest.
And that way you have your very own
He's not wrong, he's just missing some steps here.
goth and emo girl that is mentally stable. This way you can get a normal girl, turn her into a goth, and all of a sudden these things that would
Yeah, but there are plenty of people who present as goth who are also quote-unquote mentally stable. And even if they're not, like, mentally stable, like, they're usually trying, you know? Like, Katie's not perfect, I'm not perfect. Like, I don't know, it just seems a little bit shallow. Like, it's not your job to fix women, right? It's not your job to fix her. But at the same time, you're going to have to deal with some level of bullshit. I've dealt with it. Katie's dealt with it from me. All right? And everybody deals with it from their partners. You just have to decide what level of bullshit you're able and willing to deal with in exchange for that person's love.
They instantly turn into green flags because she's only that way for you. And you don't have to worry about her being crazy. Ain't that amazing? Because in the end, I don't think there's anything immoral.
I told my grandparents I was an atheist and they crashed out. Yeah, people get really weird about it because they're like, oh my God, you're not going to go to heaven now. Like, if we break it down, why do you worship somebody who's going to send me to hell? Like, I didn't do anything wrong, so maybe don't worship them. It's fine if you believe in the Christian God, but there's just some things about Yahweh that I really, really don't like, and I don't understand why people worship him.
About getting your hair dyed, whether that be pink, blue, or red, or whatever, or dressing up in a certain way, as long as it's modest. What we really should focus on is why they behave in certain ways. If someone's a goth girl because of daddy issues, that's bad. But if she's a goth girl because you asked her to be one, that's a green flag. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope this helps you out, champs. Go get
this wasn't like
yourself a goth girl. If you found use out of this video, be sure to subscribe. And as always, I hope you have a good one.
This wasn't like the worst video. It's not like the most offensive video, but at the same time, it's just like, dog, you didn't have to make this. I don't know, like, it's fine. He had some good points. Like, I agree. Like, women who use those septum piercings are usually looking for some level of attention, you know? Just like I do, just like many people do. There's nothing wrong with that, but it is true. I guess my point is, like, I don't know, like, it's a strange video to make, in my opinion. It's just strange. I think that it's a byproduct of his core beliefs about women. And I do hope to change some of those. Me and Remnant are planning to have an honest, open conversation about the thing that he originally wanted to talk about, which is rhetoric on the left. It is going to be an honest conversation. I'm not going to get pissy. I'm not going to get mad or call him a transphobe or anything. I'm going to hear him out honestly. I don't think that he's a bad guy deep down. But I do think that he is just a little spicy. We're going to see if we can simmer him down a little bit. Hi, thanks so much for watching and making it to the end of the video. I just wanted to let you all know that I love and appreciate everybody in my community, whether you can support me financially or just by liking, commenting, and sharing my videos. It helps way more than you know. That being said, I do want to give a very special thanks to my tier 4 subs, which would be Space Timid and Hot Take Andy. And thanks so much to my monetary subscribers from any of the tiered subs or anybody who gives me money in any form, including going to my Patreon shop, donating money to me directly. It all helps way more than you know. If you do decide to help me financially, you can get some really cool perks like early access to content, exclusive access to censored videos, also some really cool badges next to your name. Even if you can't afford a monetary subscription, just watching, sharing, and commenting on my content helps way more than you know. Thanks again, and I will see you all in the next video.